Hey guys, Wallen Customs here, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Sandman Wave Build-A-Figure, that is. It is Spider-Man, or Black Suit Spider-Man, whatever you want to call him. Let's take a look at the back. You have a nice picture of him right there. Take a look at the bottom. Looks pretty good. Alright, let's open him up. Alright guys, so here is Spider-Man out of the box. Now let's take a look at his accessories really quickly. First, he does come with some build-up pieces for Sandman, which are pretty nice, not bad at all. They look like they are alternative hands if you want to use it for weapons, which is a pretty nice looking, good quality. Feels pretty hefty and solid, which is pretty nice. Good texture to them because it's Sandman, of course. Good color. They have a little bit of hinge right here, so I'm assuming you just unpeg the hand or something like that and stick this in. And this one as well has a little hinge right there. I must rotate it too, and this is a nice mace, so pretty good. Nice quality, I like it. Now with Spider-Man, he only comes with two pairs of hands, one already closed fist on him right now, and of course the other ones are open-handed like this, which are pretty nice. Usually with Spider-Man we do get the web-slinging one, however this is the Symbiote Spider-Man, so the web comes out of the top of his hand right there. Let's take a look at that really quickly, and you can see that with a nice black dot over the white right there, painted on. So that's pretty cool looking. Pretty easy to put his hands on. You just pop them off like that, and you stick on the new one like so. Slides right in. It's pretty good right there. And I actually was wondering when I picked this guy up, or when they were releasing him, is this supposed to be, you know, Symbiote Spider-Man, or is this supposed to be Spider-Man when he briefly wore the black outfit after, I think it was Civil War, the first Civil War. It wasn't the symbiote, but I think he was just wearing a black Spider-Man outfit, but I'm not really sure how his web shooters were like that. Either way, who cares? So here is the Black Suit Spider-Man. Alright, so here's a nice up-close look at the Black Suit Spider-Man right here, and you know, it's pretty much self-explanatory. You see what you get. It's a black suit, black figure with some white paint apps to it. That's all you get. But it's pretty effective though. It looks pretty nice. It's nice to see this figure with this body mold, of course, which we all love. Well, at least most of us do. But as a figure, when it comes to detail itself, it's pretty plain. You know, not much to talk about. If you go down the rest of the body, all you do have is the design on the top, right here in the front, and also in the back, which is pretty clean overall. My version does have a little bit of paint mess ups, like right there around the ribs, a little bit in the front right there, and maybe a little bit on this side as well. But it's really small. Like if I were to, you know, if he was this far out, you wouldn't even notice it. You really have to really examine it. Now I know some other people have had that problem as well. I think it's just something you have to deal with. It is Hasbro, by the way, right? So, but other than that, like I said before, I think it looks pretty clean. It looks pretty nice. Take a look at the head sculpt at least, or the paint work on that. It's pretty nice, not bad. At least the eyes, there aren't any paint mess ups on that, because that would have been really annoying to have like a little bit of black hair there, little black spots. So at least that's pretty clean. But yeah, but going down to the rest of the figure, pretty plain, pretty basic, but very effective overall. Now before I get into articulation, I want to talk about quality control. And I have to say, this is a pretty good figure. It's pretty sturdy. Nothing's loose on it. It feels pretty smooth. All the joints are pretty firm. I want to say firm. They're not stuck, but they're pretty firm. Like, you do have to give some tug to it or pull to it, but it doesn't feel like it's gonna break or anything. It feels pretty sturdy. Like even the elbow joints, you know, you can feel the clicks, but it doesn't feel like it's gonna break. So it's a pretty good sturdy figure. At least my copy is, and I'm pretty happy about that. You know, I rather have a nice firm figure than a really stuck figure or a loose figure. So it's a good balance right in the middle. And I think, you know, if all of them are like this, you should be really happy with it. Now quickly going into articulation, he does have a ball jointed head on a hinge. It goes all the way up like that. Goes down a little bit. Actually pretty good. Not bad, right? Left to right, no problems there. Pivots as well, so that's pretty nice. He does have the butterfly joints right there. Pretty standard for Spider-Man. They do rotate all the way around his shoulders. They do go in and out, but you mostly will just get out the butterfly joint because that's a little stiff. But if you go up like this, then you can do that at the shoulder. So like I said, it's a little stiff, but it's firm stiff, so it doesn't feel like it's gonna break or anything like that. Going over here, bicep swivel, 2 points at the elbow, And at the wrist, he has a swivel and a hinge, so it's pretty standard as well. Ab joint, no problems there. Goes back just a little bit, one click maybe, not bad at all. Waist swivel. T-jointed hips right there. Goes pretty good, not bad. That's pretty decent. Goes back, not at all. Split wise, it's okay. Thigh swivel, 2 points at the knee. No boot swivel over there, but at the ankle he does have a hinge, of course, and a pivot. So pretty standard. You guys know exactly how it is. It really comes down to just quality control, how the figure feels, of course. And I think this figure feels pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with it. Quick size comparison, here is Spider-Man with Ultimate Spider-Man. We have regular Pizza Spider-Man and of course Agent Venom, which is a little bit of a custom, sporting the Bucky mold right there. But I had no complaints at all, it looks pretty good. Pretty much these are the same exact bodies. I know they're supposed to be, I feel like they're a little bit different though in quality. This is the original. I feel like ever since they duplicated it for other figures, it's a little bit different, but that's just me. But other than that, they pretty much are all the same and it looks pretty good. Now for our next size comparison, here is Deadpool. We have Iron Fist right there, and of course Punisher right there. And I think it looks pretty good overall, and no complaints right here. And last but not least, you can't have this Spider-Man without Carnage and Venom right here. So here they are side by side, and I think the sizes are pretty good. Venom obviously is the biggest, Carnage is second, more sporting the Bucky body mold, and we have Spider-Man right here, just a tad smaller. So looks pretty good. Alright guys, so that pretty much is it. Not much to say anymore. He basically is Black Suit Spider-Man. Pretty plain, but still very effective. Nothing spectacular, but still amazing. So that's about it guys. Thanks for watching. Like always, comment, criticize, subscribe, do whatever you want to pay attention. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram with wildlandcustoms.com. If you liked the video, get a thumbs up. Peace!
That's crispy.